Welcome, ladies, degenerates, and gentlemen, back to the DeGents pod. I'm here with my boy Big Rich.
Foski, happy to be back. Was not feeling the best last Wednesday, so we had your boy Mike, right? He filled in.
Yeah, MV12 did a pretty good job, I'd say.
Good. I like that. Obviously, I think we should start adding some guest members, and even if we're both here, we can throw someone in here to give us their picks for the week, and maybe make a competition out of it. Who has the best record, the guest record at the end of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Now that we're in our groove too, it's pretty easy to kind of just phone somebody in.
for sure, I think that's a really good idea. But this is a special edition of the DGens pod. We had a fantastic hit over the weekend. What was
Legendary.
it, what were the odds? Plus
I don't know.
50,000 or something like that.
Mine had a 50% boost on it, so the original
Yeah.
odds were a little frogged up. But I have the screenshot here. Original odds were plus 45,523.
Yeah,
So
that's
450 to
pretty.
1.
That's a pretty cool
That's
hit,
pretty solid, I'd say.
dude. Yeah, as soon as Anthony Richardson went down, and then Flacco came in and threw a touchdown to Josh Downs, I was like, it's destiny. It's got to happen, right?
Yeah. That one was out of left field. I think he was plus 425.
Yeah.
Just I mean,
you,
but that's
you
that's
threw,
how it happens.
when you text me that, I low key, I was like, all right, let's ride. So, but I love it.
Ended up
That was
working out pretty
awesome,
good.
man. Yeah.
But yeah, coming down off the high of that, we're into week 5 of the NFL. Um, kind of shipping into form here.
Oh yeah.
Um, I got the college football record for me back to 18, 19, and 2 after this weekend. So that's a big jump. And the NFL is still lagging a little bit, but the units are up after that parlay either way. 12, 17, and 3 in the
Yeah.
NFL so far.
Yeah. You're right there though. Like, I remember a couple of tough losses early on. Like you said, we're finding our groove. Um, I hit a pretty rough patch there in the middle with college football, especially. But the last 2 weeks, I think I'm like 10-4 in college football. That brings my college football record to 26-28. Still down a couple units, but right around that 500 number, and I'm hoping for another good week here, and I can get above that. And then NFL currently 17-13-1. So
Nice. That's good. For how the
overall, I
first
think
few
I'm
weeks went,
down
that's
like,
really good.
yeah. So like overall, I'm only down like a unit, but overall, I'm probably like 50-51% right now. So
Yeah,
finding
not
our
bad
groove,
for sure.
finding our groove.
Speaking
So we're getting there. We're
speaking
getting there. Let's keep it rocking and rolling.
hell yes, brother. Speaking of our groove, let's get right into it. Quick recap of
Yes,
college
sir.
football this past weekend. Obviously, we had an absolute banger with Alabama, Georgia. Best game of the year so far. That game was insane.
Yeah, that game was wild. Alabama jumped out big early. That and like I kind of counted Georgia out. I stopped paying attention to that game a little bit, and the next thing you know, they are right back in it. So props to Georgia. I still think they're probably a top 4 team in the country, but um, especially in Tuscaloosa too, making that comeback there. But shout out Alabama. I think they are pretty legit. SEC has 3, if not, I would say 3 absolute powerhouses. Then a couple other teams that could definitely fight for a playoff spot for sure.
Yeah, credit to Georgia for coming back. Milroe looks like he's improved 100% since last year. He looked like a stud in this game, and Ryan Williams is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's only what 17.
Yeah,
That's
it's
ridiculous.
nuts.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Talk about feeling old.
Yeah, talk about feeling old, dude. That is insane. Absolutely insane. But you want to run through the top rest of the top 25 last week?
Yep. Next game, Ole Miss goes down to Kentucky. I was on Kentucky. 17 points was way too many. Clearly,
Yeah.
Ole Miss, as usual, runs through non-conference, and as soon as they face a decent SEC team with a really good defense, um, they lay an egg and they lose 20-17. So, kind of
Yep.
same old there.
Yeah, man. Kentucky might be a sneaky legit team. I mean, they got smoked by South Carolina earlier in the year, but they lose to Georgia by a point, and then um, win at Ole Miss. So it's a really good win from them. But they play at Tennessee and Texas later in the year. So I don't see them ending up in a playoff spot. But they're a sneaky good team, man. Definitely a sneaky good team.
Yeah, yeah, great defense for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you a long way. Next game, Michigan 3-point win over Minnesota at home. Um, Michigan's culture carries them. They run the ball well. Um, they're still a good team, but I don't see them really making a run at anything late this season, to be honest.
No, definitely like a middle year for them. Yeah, they end up in the playoff for sure. 12-team playoff, yeah. They're probably a they're probably a top 12 team, but they're definitely not going to make a run at the championship. They just don't have that it factor in those certain positions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah, they lost a
um,
lot, so to be expected.
yeah, for sure, definitely lost a lot. McCarthy, Corum, Roman Wilson. So
And Big Jim, of course. K State hosts Oklahoma State, and they win 42-20. They're finding themselves on a nice little roll here.
yeah, I mean the week prior they got absolutely blown out by BYU. This is definitely a good bounce back spot for them hosting Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has definitely showed their flaws in certain games this year. I was actually on Oklahoma State, one of the few bad plays I had. I just figured it was going to be closer than that. I mean, early on it was close. They were actually up a touchdown in the first half, and then I think Kansas State pulled out 27, 28 unanswered points. So it was close for a little bit there. Then Kansas State kind of pulled away. Avery Johnson really showed that Heisman Trophy ability. I think his slow start won't will kind of hinder him getting there. But yeah, Avery Johnson is that good, and expect more of that from Kansas State and Avery Johnson moving forward.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, your boy. You mentioned him before the season started. He had a nice 5 touchdown game there. So looking good, shaping
Yeah,
into
yeah.
form. Next game, BYU rolls over Baylor 34-28. They find themselves at 22 going into this week. Um, kind of to be expected. I didn't expect much of Baylor this year, so good win for BYU on the road.
Yeah, I mean, no one really expected a whole lot out of Baylor, but I think if my memory serves me correctly here, I think BYU's season win total is 4.5. I think they already hit it 5-0 right away, right out the
Yeah,
gate. So
yeah, they've been playing really well.
definitely, yeah, definitely an improved team, but expect them to hit their skid as they get deeper into Big 12 play.
For sure. Next game, USC 38-21 over Wisconsin. They're close to cracking into the top 10 there, so playing well. Was that their first Big
Yeah.
Ten game? I think so. Oh, no, they're Michigan, obviously. Duh.
They lost to Michigan last week. Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah. But yeah, They look tough. The defense looks a lot better than last year, and they're right up there. One one bad game from a top team in the Big Ten, and they could find themselves right there in contention. I think.
For sure, for sure. I think it's Ohio State's to lose, but
I agree.
they're definitely in there.
Next game, this was a really good one. Louisville at Notre Dame. Notre Dame squeaks out the win 31-24. I believe I got Louisville at 7, so I pushed on that one, but they hung in there for a while. Good finish there too. So Notre Dame.
Yeah, they hung in there. I added Louisville late. I got this is it was 7.5 earlier in the week. Then it was 7 and 6.5, and I got the bad number. Um, I got a bone to pick with their head coach. Did you watch any of that game?
I was caught in between. I had a golf tournament actually, so
Yep.
the early games I didn't see much of.
Dude, that was the most pathetically constructed drive at the end of the game I have ever seen in my life. Down 7 points, under 3 minutes to go, no timeouts, and they get the ball, they have the ball on their own 40. They run the ball 3 straight times. Get it to about fourth and inches. Delay of game.
Oh boy.
4th and 6, and then they throw it like 40 yards downfield. What in the world are we doing? You have no timeouts, and we're going to run the ball 3 straight plays against Notre Dame's defense? What are we?
Yeah, you telling me
I
that
don't
makes me
know.
glad I didn't see it.
Fuski, I sat there just in awe. Like I couldn't believe what I just saw. I think this game that has to be investigated. Like there's no way their head coach didn't have Notre Dame minus 6.5. Like there's no chance. That was pathetic. Absolutely
then
pathetic.
then I got a bone to pick with them too.
They are on the list. I will never bet on Louisville again. That was pathetic. That was absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm glad I didn't see that, honestly. Next game though, we got
Yeah.
Oklahoma at Auburn. Oklahoma wins 27-21. That was one of my plays, Oklahoma on the money line. This guy, Hugh Freeze, he doesn't know how to lose. I've been hearing about some of the comments after the games, and he just is just blaming everyone else. Nothing's his fault. Pretty bad.
Yeah, this is one of the games I didn't really watch a whole lot of. But yeah, I mean Auburn has that historic vibe to them, like Cam Newton, national champs and stuff like that. So you'd expect them to be better than they are, but no, Auburn they've been pretty dog shit ever since getting rid of Gus Malzahn. So good hit there though with Oklahoma.
Yeah, I just they stayed in it with Tennessee, and I know how good Tennessee is, so I kind of just had a feeling there. And this Hugh Freeze stuff started a couple weeks ago, so I think Auburn's kind of on a decline here. They really need to get a win and get back on track before everyone starts turning on each other over there.
Yeah.
A&M 21-17 over Arkansas. Arkansas's playing teams tough, and they do there's a big matchup with them that we'll get to. I'm interested. I think I laid off it, but we'll get there. Texas 35-13 over Mississippi State. No surprise there. Again, Mississippi State, we talked about it last week and probably the week before. They are dog shit. And the Longhorns look like national champions.
Yes, they do. They look
yeah,
very, very good.
And this was an arch game too.
I love to see it. It was. I mean, I think when you get, I think we've talked about this. I think we talked about this last week. I think you don't necessarily against teams like this, like get Ewers healthy. Don't there's no real sense of rushing him back when you're playing teams like Mississippi State. But when you get deeper into these SEC games, I think Ewers' experience is going to definitely way more than Arch's skill set. You know what I'm saying? So um,
Yeah,
he looks good for now, but I definitely prefer Ewers when we get into the deep end here in the SEC.
yeah. And Sark has already said the same thing. When Quinn's ready, he's going to be the starter. But it's good for Arch to get
Yep.
these games under his belt for sure.
Oh, big time. Absolutely.
Clemson 40-14 over Stanford. That one's not really a surprise to many people. Clemson's still, I mean, in the ACC, they probably have a good chance of securing a playoff spot, but they're still kind of on that fringe. Do I think they really can do anything once they're in the playoff? Not really. Uh, but
Yeah.
they beat a team they should, so credit to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I was on Clemson there minus the 24. Um, this is my one gripe with Clemson is I just think they have to put together 4 quarters. And I feel like they play well for a quarter, then they kind of fall asleep, then they turn it on for the third quarter, early fourth quarter, and they fall asleep again. So I mean,
yeah,
I think this team has a talent. If they play a full 4 quarter game, they can compete with a lot of teams, but especially in the ACC.
um, yeah,
But yeah,
I agree with you.
can,
Iowa State at Houston 20-0. They're looking good in the Big 12. Uh, Bama, Georgia, we talked about.
mm-hmm.
Ohio State 38-7 over Michigan State. Again, Ohio State looking the part. Still waiting on that first real test for the Buckeyes, but they're doing everything they need to do early in the season. We'll see when they have a big marquee matchup how they
Yep.
face up against another contender.
Yeah, Oregon in 2 weeks, I think. Next week.
They're coming. The big games are coming.
Yeah, yeah.
Penn State 21-7 over the Fighting Illini. Uh, LSU 42-10 over South Alabama. That's to be expected. Utah gets upset by Arizona 23-10 at home.
Mm-hmm.
I did not catch much of that one actually.
No, I didn't. I mean that's a game. That's a game that they win with Cam Rising at quarterback.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson's little brother had a pretty brutal game there. 50% completion percentage, 2 picks against an Arizona defense that gives up points.
Nah. Yeah, 10's not going to cut it. And then lastly, Oregon 34-13 over UCLA. That was a killer. Had a minus 24. They won by 21, but they get the job done. And that,
Yep.
I guess we should mention Miami and Virginia Tech on Friday night, which was actually a great game. 38-34 for
Fantastic game.
Miami. That was a great game.
Yep. Yeah, no,
Electric
I
finish.
enjoyed watching that one. Yeah, that was a sweet game. Virginia Tech
All
plus
right.
17. Cap it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I swept that game too. I tweeted them out. Definitely didn't do it on the show, but I did pick the over on the show, and then I added another one. So
Okay.
extra plays on Twitter. Make sure you follow the boys, and you'll
Yes.
find those too.
Yes, sir.
But that rounds out college for the most part. All the ranked teams move into the NFL Thursday night. Cowboys Giants. Cowboys squeak it out in the end, 20-15. Um, the line closed at 5.5, and it was kind of teetering all week around that number too. And Brandon Aubrey misses. Brandon Aubrey of all kickers misses at the end of the game to cover for the Giants.
Didn't he hit a 60+ yarder in this game?
Yeah, I think it was 63. Like
It,
no sweat.
it was 60 on the dot.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, and
That
then he
was tough
missed
to
what
watch.
was it? Like it was like 48 or something
Yeah,
like
around
that.
there, long 40.
And he missed it. That son of a bitch. But
Yeah,
I don't think I had a play in this game. I don't really like betting um, NFC East games for some reason. I just don't have a good edge on that division. So I kind of I stayed away there. I think I might have played a prop or two on my own, but nothing that I shared with anybody. But yeah,
yeah. I
Cowboys.
ended up.
Cowboys are meh.
Yeah, they need to figure it out. They don't look very good.
No, and like honestly, like the Giants. I mean, they only scored 15 points, but like early on in that game, they were moving the rock pretty well. They just couldn't punch it in.
Yeah, they're
And
starting
like
to figure
Danny
things
Jones
out.
doesn't yeah, Danny Jones doesn't look like as bad as what everyone makes him out to be. I know it's Danny Jones at the end of the day, but
Yeah,
he doesn't look
got
as
it.
bad as
They're definitely rounding into form a bit. I mean, they're not going to be world beaters by any means, but they're starting to figure it out. Uh,
no. Yeah.
all right, on to Sunday in Santa Clara. The Niners rolled over our New England Patriots, 30-13. Some bad injuries in this game for the Patriots. David Andrews out for the season. Even on the Niners side, actually, Fred Warner with a ankle sprain. He came off. They were up big, so he didn't come back on the field. Um, if it was a
Yep.
big game, I could see that guy playing through anything. So I think he's going to be fine. But yeah,
Yeah.
steamrolled.
Yeah, an absolute steamroll there. Kind of what you'd expect for the Patriots heading to the Niners. Even though the Niners have been kind of beat up, Debo's not fully healthy. Obviously, no McCaffrey. Um, Warner, like you said, um, suffered an injury there as well. But yeah, kind of what you expect though. Overall, better coach team, top to bottom, a better roster. Um, so, what you'd expect. The Patriots suck. It's tough to watch. Uh, just not. It's just boring. It's a boring brand of football, and they can't move. They can't move the football down the field. Um, I don't think Jacoby has ever really been that guy, but I also don't really blame him because he takes a 3-step drop and he has 3 defenders in his face. So it's tough to really do much when you're pressured that often and that at that intensity, you know. So I don't blame him.
Yeah.
This team sucks. They have a lot of holes to fill. It's gonna be a few years, man. Definitely gonna be a few years.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a long few years and a long season. But I appreciate Jacoby Brissett for what he's doing, taking all those shots to keep our rookie quarterback safe. He's a great man for
For
that.
sure. Yeah. Please don't put
Next,
Drake May in. Please.
yeah, yeah. Next game was a big fat stinker, but I love the result. 10-9 Broncos over the Jets. Anytime the Jets lose, it puts a smile on my face. Um,
Oh,
this game was
I
awful
can't
to
agree
watch.
more.
It was raining and gross, and MetLife and the stadium itself doesn't have any character to begin with, so the rain just makes it even more miserable. And the Broncos pull out a win. That's just
That they do.
that was just my true thoughts just spitting out.
No, I
Um,
love that.
yeah,
Keep them coming.
Rodgers was 24-42, 225, no scores. They had 3 field goals. That's not going to get the job done. Um, I don't know. The Jets have not figured it out. If your team, no matter the quarterback, if your defense lets up 10 points, you should be able to win that game 9.8 times out of 10. And it's just
Yeah,
they couldn't pull it out. So
they definitely couldn't pull it out. But yeah, I mean, this Jets team has the potential. The defense is good. I mean, the offense is I'd say honestly loaded. Rodgers is not the Rodgers of old, but he's still better than anything that they've had in recent memory. Garrett Wilson, I don't really know what to think of him right now. I haven't watched a whole lot of like his solo tape. I feel like they should try to get him more involved in the passing game. Scheme more stuff up for him, especially in the red zone. But and then obviously Brees Hall, and I think Braylon Allen's an absolute stud. So this team, I mean, they're a good team. Definitely a stinker of a game, but they will. I think they'll be better. I think they'll find their groove.
Yeah, and credit to the Broncos defense too. I mean, they held the Jets to 9, so very good performance from them. They
Yeah,
have a really really
good
good
for them.
defense this year. Next game in
Dude,
Lambeau, Vikings.
Surtain is stupid.
Oh yeah, no, he's unbelievable. But the whole defense is playing well as well.
He's,
Next game in Lambeau, Vikings defeat the Packers 31-29, and it really wasn't that close. Vikings were dominating this game. They were up 28-7 at halftime. Jordan Love got into a bit of a groove in the second half, trying to lead a comeback, but they fall short. The Vikings move to 4-0. Unbelievable.
where's your Sam Darnold MVP ticket?
Hey, I was high on him. I wasn't that high on him. Too late to jump in now. It's not even worth it.
I
Oh, maybe it
know.
will
I
be,
mean,
but
there's no value on it now.
yeah, and his comeback player of the year
I just don't. There's
is
value on it. I just don't.
dead too.
Yeah. Yeah. No sense in doing that. But I mean, yeah, this game was never, like you said, never really close. Vikings got it to a giant lead early. Packers kind of fought back at the end, made an interesting finish. I was kind of surprised, honestly. I was on the Packers -2.5. I thought the return of Jordan Love, this offense would be rolling. It just took them a whole entire half to get rolling. Um, but yeah, Vikings, man, they actually might be a legit team in the NFC.
Oh, they are definitely legit. Next game, Falcons 26, Saints 24. This was a nice back and forth, and we had a 58-yarder from Young Hoku to seal the deal with no time left, or maybe a couple seconds left, but basically a game-winning walk-off field goal. Good divisional matchup. I think this was probably expected for it to be close. Little concern on my end. Not that I'm a Bijan owner in any leagues, unfortunately, but Algier with 8 carries for 60 yards is a bit concerning. It was all Artie Smith last year. Why aren't you scheming up Bijan? Why aren't you using Bijan? And he's out of town, and it's the same story. But they do get the win, so.
Yeah, no, they got the win. But I mean, up to this point, Bijan has absolutely dominated in touches in the running back room. So I'm not too ultimately concerned there. I just think maybe Saints were probably preparing for a Bijan game and try to mix it up, give the ground and pound guy Tyler Algier, who I think is still a great running back, give him some looks,
Yes.
and he had a great day.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great day there, but this one stung. I had Atlanta -2.5.
Ooh.
Tough one, but yeah, overall good game. And NFC South divisional matchup goes over the total. Game-winning field goal at the end of the game. It was definitely a good game to watch.
Yes, I actually had the under in that game. So that was tough. But anyways, moving on, we got Bucks rolling over the Eagles 33-16. The Eagles may be in trouble here, big time.
Yeah, absolutely big time. I don't really know what to think of it, to be honest. Like, what really is their issue? Obviously, defensively, they're not as good as everyone thought they were going to be. But they shouldn't be losing by 17 points to the Buccaneers. I know the Buccaneers are, I mean, probably one of the more slept on teams coming into this season. But still, dog, 1 point dog, they win by 17 points. But yeah, they're in trouble. I just don't think Jalen Hurts is as good as I just don't think Jalen Hurts is as good as everyone makes him out to be. Obviously he's one of the best pure running quarterbacks in the league, but when it comes down to putting the team on your back and making those big throws and going out and winning the game for your team, I just don't think he has that.
Yeah.
Sirianni's in trouble.
Yeah, I think Sirianni is a bigger problem to me than Hurts.
Yeah,
There's still no AJ Brown in this game, which, I mean, I don't know what exactly the splits are, but I'm sure they're drastic when he's on the field
yeah.
compared to not on the field and their record.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a bye this week, and he should be back. So I'm giving the Eagles
Yeah.
a little bit more of a window before I'm completely out on them. Excuse
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with the amount of talent they have, you definitely give them a little more leeway. But yeah,
Yeah, they definitely got to figure it out. Bengals get a win over the Panthers 34-24. Much needed win. Not to nitpick, but the defense is definitely a problem for Cincinnati going forward in the division that they're in and in the spot that they put themselves in again at the beginning of the season. So I don't know. We all know how good Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are, but you can only go up and down the field so much against good teams like the Ravens, like the Steelers, like the Chiefs. So they got to get
yeah,
some whole field defensively and figure that out for them to have a real shot.
yeah, absolutely. Much needed win for them. They need obviously to win those games. Panthers, it's pretty unbelievable how much different they look with Andy Dalton at quarterback. Makes me think
Guy can
it's
play.
more of a makes me think it's more of a Bryce Young issue.
Um, Slightly, yes. I still believe in Bryce Young. We've seen what bad situations can do to talented young quarterbacks,
Yeah,
i.e., Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith. Those three guys are top half of the league, if not top
yeah,
10 to start out the season. And we all know how the beginning of their careers went. So I think Bryce will get
yeah,
another chance, probably not in Carolina, but it definitely helps with a veteran quarterback and some talent on the outside when Andy Dalton's just going out there and slinging the bill. He's got nothing to prove. So
yeah,
he's just throwing the ball and it's working.
yeah. I mean, yeah, no sweat off his back. He's been in the
Right.
league. He's made his money. He's playing for funsies now. But yeah, I think
Right.
Bryce Young is absolutely toast in Carolina. I'm definitely you bring up the whole Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, yada yada. But Bryce Young, dude, he is tiny. He is absolutely tiny. I think that's a
Yeah,
big issue. I know
it is. It
you
definitely
got
is.
you got your Russell Wilsons, but I mean that dude's pocket presence when he was younger and evading rush is elite. Um, Drew Brees, he was a shorter guy, but he was still what 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot. So I mean, he wasn't that short, but like Bryce Young's 5'9", like a buck 85. I mean, he's tiny. I think it's going to play a factor.
Yeah,
And and then and two, I think his confidence is absolutely crushed. So, I mean, we'll see.
definitely.
I mean, I'm not completely giving up on him, but I'm definitely leaning towards Bryce Young being potentially the biggest bust in the history of the NFL.
It's not out of the picture.
I mean, Jamarcus Russell holds
Oh,
that cake,
right.
but Bryce,
Oh yeah,
Bryce Young
yeah.
could
He
be
still the ground for sure.
Bryce Young. He could be a close second there.
Yes, sir. Um, Texans Jags coming up next. 24-20 for the Texans. Jags showed some life in this game. Texans actually had to
Yep.
drive down and score at the end of the game for the win. CJ Stroud gets it done. Good win for the Texans.
Yeah. Good divisional win there for the Texans. Yeah, Jags 0-4. Tough start to the season. I was a little higher on them than I probably should have been. But they showed some fight against a really good Texans team, especially in Houston. I mean, they got to get the ball rolling immediately if they want to have any sort of chance. But I think that ship has sailed. Good win for the Texans. They got a big game coming up this week.
Yeah, with the Bills, that's going to be a good one to watch for sure.
Oh, big time.
Next game, Colts, Steelers. Colts win 27-24. Colts jumped out pretty early in this one. Fields looked really good. Anthony Richardson gets banged up a little bit, and big Joe Flacco comes in and seals the deal in Indy.
I'd love to see it. Joe Flacco. The name lives on. The legend.
Yeah.
The legend of Joe Flacco. But yeah, like I think obviously you have all this invested in Anthony Richardson, and he's brittle. The dude is brittle. He's shown so far in his career that I mean he can't take hits play in and play out. And honestly, I think that Colts team looked a little bit better with Joe Flacco slinging the rock.
Yeah,
They have a
they
good young
definitely look
receiving
good.
core. Yeah, and I think with Joe Flacco feeding the ball, I think this offense looks a lot better.
Yeah, and Richardson's going to be fine. He actually came back in, ran, I think, one run play, and he was like, no. So they just kept him out, and they still got the win. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely two totally different offenses. I think Jonathan Taylor got banged up in this game too. He might be out for a couple weeks.
Yep.
So it's going to be a different Colts. But yeah, Richardson gets hurt a lot. I mean, it's just kind of, I think it's just the style he plays in, to be honest. They drop those runs and he runs like a fucking running back.
Okay.
Bears host the Rams 24-18. They pull out the victory. I was on the Bears here. The Rams are just so beat up. And the Bears defense has been solid. So just had a feeling. Caleb, no crazy stat line, but played solid. DeAndre Swift heard all the rumblings and all of a sudden became a top 5 running back in the NFL for a game.
Yeah.
He had 16 carries, 93 yards, and a touchdown, and 7 catches for 72 yards. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean
he kind of dominated this game.
Yeah, great game for Swift. Thankfully, Roshan was able to get his goal line touch that we so desperately needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was also on the Bears. I hated it. I told myself I wasn't going to back this team all year, but it was just a good spot. Like you said, the Rams are really beat up, and yeah, I thought this Bears team could squeak out a 3-point plus win, and they did. So that's a cash right
Next,
there.
yes, it is. Next game, Commies at Cardinals. Jaden Daniels continues his coming out party. 42-14 for the Commanders. He looks like a stud. And the defense played well this game too. So looking good over there in Washington, top of the NFC East. I don't think many people saw that coming.
No, I mean I certainly didn't. I didn't expect Jaden Daniels to play as well as he has been. I don't think anyone really has. I didn't think it was going to be awful either. But yeah, Commanders are definitely playing well. But yeah, the Cardinals, they played the Bills well early. Then they smoked the Rams. So I thought this Cardinals team was pretty solid, and they kind of laid an egg the last 2 weeks, 1-3. They got something figure out offensively. They kind of hit a little bit of a skid. I think they'll be okay overall. But yeah, definitely hit a skid here.
Yeah, I think McBride coming back full strength is going to help them out a little bit.
Yep.
Next game, Browns at Raiders. Raiders 20, Browns 16. Um, Raiders move to 2-2, and then all hell breaks loose with Devontae Adams. I don't really get it. I talked about it a little bit in the group chat. If they were so ready to move him and he wanted to go, why wait till now? It's not like, I mean, I would get it if they were 1-3, looked like shit, or 0-4, obviously, but they're 2-2. They beat a really good Ravens team, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, well, he wants a trade, and I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's what's going on, I
Yeah,
guess.
I kind of think I'm not really totally surprised that he wants to trade. Um, I think he kind of knows that. I mean, the Raiders. I mean, they're meh. They're all right. They're kind of a fun team sometimes. The Minshew and that defense, Max Crosby. But you know, at this stage in his career, I think he wants to be on a contender more so. Maybe get reunited with Rodgers over in New York. It kind of scares me though because Rashee Rice probably out, and I don't know, the Chiefs
They
might
won't
be
trade him in
knocking.
division. There's no way.
Dude, I don't think I'd like to think not, but it,
Yeah,
it's different. It's different in the NFL, but
yeah,
I was saying like you don't really see moves like that in other sports. Like if you'd never see the Red Sox trade a big piece to the Yankees, But in football, I mean, it's different depending on the package. And it's not like Devontae has been a career long Raiders legend. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I
I feel
guess
like
I
that might play a part to an extent, but kind of to get on my opinion here on the game. Um, I think the Browns should have won that game. Obviously, you see that phantom holding call.
did not catch that. No.
I mean, Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson hit Amari Cooper for like a 70, 65, 70 plus yard touchdown, and they called a holding. And then, I mean, you could probably look that up right now on Twitter
Oh,
or
I saw the
Instagram or
touchdown.
whatever. That got called back.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it got called back. To be honest.
Yeah, they got called back on probably the worst call up to this point this season.
Dang.
Absolutely abysmal. Such a soft call late in the game. You know, one of the few good plays Deshaun Watson has made this season. So that's tough.
Yeah, yeah. All right, moving on. Speaking of the Chiefs, they beat the Chargers 17-10 with Gimpy Herbert, and obviously you just mentioned Rashi Rice goes out. Bad looking injury from his own quarterback, obviously unintentional, but that's going to be tough for them moving forward
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Rice was a big piece of that. Big piece of that offense.
I'd
I
say,
like it. I like it. I mean, obviously, I don't wish injuries like that upon players, but as a Travis Kelsey fantasy football owner in a few leagues here, um, I am now foreseeing a few more targets, maybe a couple touchdowns coming Kelsey's way, hopefully. Um, but yeah, I was on the Chargers here +7. I figured holding the Chiefs 17 points, they'd be able to cover that +7. I guess I'll take the push here. It's not something you really go for, but um, I'll take the push. First push of the year, actually. Took 4 weeks to get it.
wow. Yeah, and Herbert was still banged up too, so that's tough.
Yeah, big time.
Uh, all right, capping off Sunday. Sunday night. Wasn't much of a game, but a lot of anticipation before the game till kickoff. 35-10 Ravens over the Bills. The Ravens absolutely steamrolled. Derrick Henry looked like he was 24 again with an 87-yard
Yeah,
touchdown, pulling away
yeah,
from DBs, which was insane to see, to be honest.
yeah. That was vintage Derrick Henry right there. It's just a guy that big shouldn't be able to move that fast in open space. It
He's
is insane
he's a specimen.
specimen. I mean, if he has a hole and he hits it at that speed, watch out. Do not get in that guy's way. You couldn't pay me money to try to tackle that guy.
Depends on the offer. I'll take a broken shoulder for a couple million.
Well, yeah, I mean, depends on the offer for sure, but man, after all the hospital bills and everything, it might not even be worth it.
Yeah, no, Ravens look good. I think the
Yeah,
Bills will be fine too. Just kind of laid an egg.
yeah, it was one of those spots on the road at the Ravens who have struggled. 3-0 start. They were due for a dud, and unfortunately, it was a Sunday night game, so it was not really a great time for it, but they were due for it.
Yeah. All right. Two Monday night games again this past week. Titans Dolphins was a surreal stinker. Snoop Huntley starting for the Dolphins. The offense looked horrendous. Will Levis gets banged up early, and Mason Rudolph leads the Titans to a W.
Yeah, no, Mason Rudolph. I think the Titans are 2-2 or at 3-1 with if Mason Rudolph's their starting quarterback. Um, Overall, I don't think they're a bad team. I think Will Levis's inexperience obviously brings them down a little bit. Dude has a cannon for an arm, but his lack of experience, his immaturity, making those stupid plays late in games and in key spots, kind of holds them back. But yeah, the Dolphins looked awful. I just don't really understand like with the scheme they run. I just didn't. I maybe I tip my cap to Tua here a little bit because I just didn't think Tua was doing anything that spectacular at all.
No,
I think he was
yeah,
just. I mean, yeah, I figured he was making the right reads, and when you got Waddle and Hill and A-Chain who all run the speed of cheetahs, quite literally cheetah Tyreek Hill. I didn't think much to it, but I mean, and now the more I see, it's the more I kind of tip my cap to Tua, and the more I think they desperately need him.
yeah, yeah. Kind of shows that he might be a bit underrated as far
Yeah.
as the top quarterbacks go, for sure. But yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. The Titans are a solid team. Their defense is pretty good, and they just need to have somebody under center that can take care of the ball and not make those bonehead mistakes that Will Levis has been doing all season.
Yeah.
Last game was a banger. Lions 42, Seahawks 29. I know the score may not suggest it, but this game was awesome to watch. The Lions ran the ball like crazy, some explosive plays, and Gino looked good too. The defense just didn't really hold up for him.
No. No. This was a
Awesome to watch.
um but yeah, man, this was a Lions game here that kind of reminded you that this team was in the NFC Championship game a year ago, and kind of reminds you that this team very well could represent the NFC in the Super Bowl this year. Offensively, I think this is kind of the perfect storm: throwing the ball, running the ball, using everybody on their offense. It was definitely a fun game to watch. And when they play when their offense goes off like this, watch out, man. I mean, the defense definitely has to tighten up a little bit. But Geno Smith played unbelievable. So definitely one of those games where definitely reminds you that this Lions team is definitely for real.
Yeah. Yeah, and I failed to mention Jared Goff, perfect 18 for 18, 292 and 2 tuds, and a receiving
Yeah,
touchdown, which was fucking awesome.
yeah, that was pretty sweet.
But yeah, like I said, the score may not truly represent, I think, how well the Seahawks played. Kenny Walker, first week back, looked fucking, or maybe not first week back, but ramping back up to speed, looked really good. Gino looked really good, but the Lions were just too much for them to handle.
Yes, they were, and like I said, the Lions can play offense like that. They're going to be a very hard team to beat.
Yes, they are. All right, that does it for the NFL Week 4 recap. And now we make our picks.
Yes, sir.
And we are going to start in college football as usual. Um,
Yes,
two
sir.
games Thursday night, kind of stinkers. I do not have any plays. Do you have anything Thursday night?
Let me just pull it up real quick. I had the top 25 loaded up. No, I don't have anything in these ones.
Yeah.
I don't have a I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan until Saturday, actually.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
There's only
I don't have any.
there's
Got a
actually
good amount of
four
Friday games, but
games on Friday. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I actually have two plays on Friday. I thought it was only one. Um, my first play is the over 52 and a half in the Michigan State Oregon game.
Okay.
Um, the spread is 24. Both these teams score over 30 points a game on offense, and Michigan State's defense is not terribly good. So, as good as Oregon's defense is and as outmatched as Michigan State is, I still think Oregon can put up a nice 40-45 spot, and Michigan State will do the rest for me.
Cool. Yeah. I feel that. I lean Michigan State here plus the 23 and a half, just given the look ahead spot here for Oregon next week playing Ohio State, but I don't like it enough to play it.
Yeah. And then my second play on Friday is, hold on, I'm just confirming. Yeah, UNLV minus the 6.5. I faded them last week after the whole quarterback, running back, NIL situation, and they
Yep.
absolutely manhandled whoever they played. I forget who it was, but they manhandled them. And now
Fresno
Friday night
State
at home, I'm taking the points, or I'm laying the points.
6.5
Yep.
against a solid Syracuse team.
Yep.
A
I'm buying the.
pretty good
I'm drinking the
Syracuse team.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's. I'm just. I think UNLV is probably the right side at this thing. 6.5. It's we're kind of reaching here a little bit. Um, I just think I just don't want to get caught with my pants down here and riding the coattails of UNLV. You know, I feel like it might be a spot where Syracuse can play them pretty close.
Yeah, I think Syracuse is solid, but after what I saw last week, I have a feeling that it did the opposite of what I thought it was going to do with the whole quarterback situation. And the team just kind of rallied
Yep.
around each other and just they all played for each other and they played really well. So I'm going to take it. If this game was at the
Yeah.
fucking at the dome, maybe not, but they're at home and
Yep.
it's a Friday night lights game, so I will take that.
Fair enough. We'll see if we get probably get to Friday night and I may be intrigued and I may ride that with you, but
Oh yeah, we always have our
as of
ads on
now,
X.
for sure. Yeah, like you said, check X. We always add plays.
Mm-hmm.
But you're
All right,
moving into
into Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep, into the Nooners.
Cool.
I have what do I have? Oh, rewind. I'm an idiot. I have the under 52.5 in the MSU Oregon game. Uh, I was kind of struggling there in the breakdown of it. I was like, damn, that's kind of a lot of points. Why did I like that so much?
Dude,
And then I
I
tried to
could tell
justify
you're
it.
like, you're like a really good Oregon defense. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, you like
Yeah,
the
I know.
over though?
I have the under 52.5 in the Oregon Michigan State game.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I
Yes.
lean that way too. I definitely lean that way too.
Yes.
Oh man,
That's
that's good
better.
stuff. All right. All right. So don't put in that play right away, everybody. Just wait until the
I'll
whole
fucking cut
thing
it
is
out.
over.
Sound like an idiot anyways.
Oh, it's so funny.
I'll
All
cut it out
right.
and put a clip up. Fuck it. All right, what do you got? You got any noon games? Couple good ones.
Yeah, I got 3 noon games. You want me to just hop right into them?
Yeah, you run through yours, I'll do mine.
All right. I got Tulsa at home hosting Army plus 11. Um, Army is on the second of a back to back on the road, covering the week before. So give me Tulsa. I might sprinkle the one money line here as well.
You can actually
Um,
get 12.5 on DraftKings right now as well.
yeah, I'm already locked in at 11. Damn. That's the thing though, is like a few times I've waited and it hasn't moved in my favor. So I just like, I'm gonna place it now. Um, but still, I like it. I like the up. I like the sprinkle the money line. So I like any. I like them covering anything. Um, then now I got Air Force plus 9.5 hosting Navy. Kind of a similar situation as to Army. Navy is the second off a back to back covering in the week prior. So give me Air Force. Potential to sprinkle the money line too. Maybe a quarter of a unit parlay, Air Force and Tulsa money line. We'll
That
see.
would be a big pay.
That'd be a big pay. But then my last leg, not my last leg, but my last play at noon is Northern Illinois hosting UMass minus 17. Um, Northern Illinois obviously had a huge win against Notre Dame. Lost to Buffalo, and I think who did they lose? To anybody else? Why can't I?
No, they won last week.
Okay, they
They are
won
two
last
and
week.
two though.
Okay. All right, because I think they might have lost to somebody else. But anyway, UMass sucks. Northern Illinois is a good team. They're just riding that high of beating Notre Dame. I think they're kind of back to earth, a few weeks removed from this Notre Dame game. I think they absolutely steamrolled UMass.
Nice. Okay, I have at noon. I am taking Missouri plus 3 on the road at Texas A&M.
I don't mind that. I hate betting with Texas A&M, and I hate betting against Texas A&M. So
Fair enough. Yeah, I like this Missouri team.
I won't be. I won't be.
Both teams have
I
solid
think they
defenses, and I like
yeah
Missouri's offense better.
they're yeah they remind me of Clemson a little bit. Like when they put it all together, they're dynamite. But they have
Who,
these
A&M
quarter
or
level
Missouri?
Missouri. Like when everything's clicking, then like watch out. But um, there are times where this team kind of falls asleep for a quarter here and there. Boy, what else you got in
Yep.
noon? Is that it?
No, I got one more, and it is the over. See, this is where I got confused. I have the over
Okay.
UCLA at Penn State, over 46.5. UCLA is not very good, and their defense is not very good. I expect Penn State to run it up on them. This is where
Okay.
this is what I was trying to say in the other game is I think Penn State puts up a nice I don't know, 40 piece maybe. They average like 30, mid 30s a game. And actually,
Yep.
UCLA's offense averages 29 or 30 points a game too. So
Yep.
I like the 46 and a half over there. And nope, I'm mixing up games again. Yeah, I like the over there. All right, go
All right,
ahead.
I got a couple 330s. I got Ohio State minus 20 hosting Iowa. This is typically not one of the spots that I like to play with given Oregon the following week for Ohio State, but Iowa's on a second of a back-to-back on the road. So I like Ohio State minus a 20. Stanford plus 8.5 hosting Virginia Tech. UConn minus 17 hosting Temple. Those are all at 3:30. Moving to 7 o'clock here, I got Coastal Carolina minus 5.5. Southern Mississippi plus 14.5 hosting UL Lafayette, I think, or UL Monroe. Yeah, the Raging Cajuns. Coastal Carolina's hosting Old Dominion, by the way. 8 o'clock, I got Kansas plus 3 at Arizona State. Then I got Georgia Tech at home hosting Duke minus 7.
Okay. My 330s start with Ohio State, Iowa over 45 and a half. Both these teams have combined for a total of 7-1 to the over this year. So I like that one there. I'm also going to ride the hot hand and Coach Signetti and the Indiana Hoosiers minus 13 and a half. I'm on Oklahoma State money line minus the 150. Bama minus 24 and a half. I know they just played a classic with Georgia, but I'm just going with a blind faith bet here. Indiana
Yeah.
is 3:30 host or on the road at Northwestern, who cannot score. Sorry, backtracking here. Oklahoma State money line is home against West Virginia, and Bama is at Vandy. Um, those are all 330s, I believe. And then two more plays. I have Tennessee minus the 13 and a half against Arkansas. That is the 7:30 game, and I'm on Duke plus the 10. So I'm going the other way
You got Duke
against you.
at 10.
9.5 on DraftKings right now. Yeah.
Wow. So I got Georgia Tech at a good number.
Yes, you did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm happy. Like, I'm happy I put them in early now.
Yeah, it goes both ways for sure. Yeah, and actually
Yeah.
Tennessee's up to 13 and a half.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
all right.
All right.
That
Cool,
is
cool, cool.
college football. Let's rip off some NFL real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
Yes, sir.
You
Just wanted
got
to rip
you
through the
got anything
plays,
for
or
Thursday? Yeah, you got anything for Thursday or the London game to start out?
I got to play in the London game. I don't have anything Thursday.
I don't have anything Thursday either. I lean towards the over on Thursday though, 44.
Okay. I lean the over as well, and I lean the Falcons taking that one home, but don't like them enough. Maybe an ad on X before the game, but
Yeah,
but I got a London game play. Do you?
I do not have a play on this game. No, London gets weird, and I wanted to take the Vikings, but weird shit happens over there in London.
Yeah, man. Weird shit does happen over there, and that's why I'm going with the Jets plus 2.5.
I had a feeling you were going to do that.
I don't know. I think there's going to come a point where Minnesota's going to lose a football game, and it might happen. Might happen over the pond. So give me the Jets plus 2.5.
Yeah, I don't hate it. What else you got going into the 1 o'clocks?
I got the Browns plus 3 at the Washington Communists. I mean Commanders. I got under 50.5 in Baltimore Cincy. I know both teams can score, and I know both teams have given up some points. but I think in the divisional matchup, these defenses will tighten up a little bit, and I think under 50.5 is the play there. I got Houston hosting Buffalo. I got Houston +1. Didn't like what I saw with Buffalo the other night, and I think that may carry over against a really good Houston team. And then I got the Miami Dolphins +1 at the New England Patriots.
Alrighty. My 1 o'clocks, I have the over 43.5 in the Browns and Commies. If Jalen continues his run, this should be a close game, and the Browns defense I know is good, but the Washington Commanders defense is not. So I think that total is a little bit too low for me. I'm jumping on the Ravens money line at -142. I just don't see it in the Bengals defense. They're not good, particularly against the run, and what we just saw against the Bills with the Ravens tells me that they're going to do the same thing here, even though it's a divisional matchup. I like the Ravens to win this game. I'm actually, it's probably the worst pick ever. I'm taking the Pats money line. The Pats are really, really good against the run, not as good against the pass. But as we have seen, the Dolphins can't throw the ball. I don't care who's at quarterback if it's not Tua. So I think the Pats find a way to make this game gross and pull away with the win. And that is all I have for 1 o'clock. And I got 2 more plays in the late window.
Yeah, I got 2 more plays. I got one at 4, and then one Sunday night, and then I got actually a Monday night play.
Nice. All right, run through more of mine.
Yeah. So at 4 o'clock, I got the Arizona Cardinals +7 at San Francisco. Divisional matchup. I think Arizona is going to keep this game close. The 49ers are, I guess we mentioned earlier, they're still a little bruised and battered up. Not playing the cleanest brand of football right now, so I expect Arizona to kind of take advantage of that and keep this game close, maybe even win. Sunday night, I got Dallas-Pittsburgh under 44. So I don't think there's a whole lot of points happening in this game. I think both defenses play well Sunday night. And then on Monday, I got under 43.5 in the Saints-Kansas City game.
Alrighty. My 2 4 o'clocks are all I have. I'll probably tweet out my Sunday night and Monday games. I am also on the Cardinals with you plus the 7, like you said. And I'm also on the Packers -3. I forget exactly the number, but the Packers have covered either 8 or 11 in a row against the Rams. And Jordan Love's back, and the Rams are beat up still, so I'm taking the Packers -3. And that's it for me.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, dude.
Hell yeah, bro. Let's have a good week. Let's keep our groove rolling, and yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Yes, sir. We made it through some adversity tonight.
Yeah, we did a lot of lag spikes. We were able to do what we can, and yeah, I'll try to get this Wi-Fi situation figured out. What better way to end this?
That's how we finish.
Yeah, this is fucking bullshit.